So you've inherited a house. Now what? You have two choices. You can keep it or you can sell it. And if you keep it, you have multiple options. If you want to sell it, you have multiple options. What do? Hi, I'm Matt Walsh from Academy Homebuyers, and I'm also a licensed real estate agent with EXP in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get going. Okay, one thing to remember here and keep in mind is that you've inherited a property, and that means that you now have a lot of options. A lot of times people, they inherit a property and it's got a lot of problems and it just becomes like a headache. No. It's always an option now. Someone's giving you something, you now have options, and we're going to discuss what those options are. All right. Real estate is the single best wealth builder on the planet. All of the wealthy people own real estate, and the majority of them became wealthy because of real estate. So right now, if you've inherited a property, you've been handed an opportunity to create generational wealth. Don't just look at it as the house is worth $100,000. Wow, no. That house is worth money forever if you can, right? So in 2020, the median net worth of homeowners was $255,000. Contrast that to the median net worth of renters, which was only $6,300. Do you see the difference? Okay. Homeowners as a whole have more money, they're wealthier, and if you can buy other properties, if you can inherit other properties, it gives you options to build generational wealth that others can only dream of. All right. When you inherit a house, like I said, you have options. Don't look at this as a burden, all right? Even if there are problems with the house or the estate or the heirs, okay? And let me tell you from personal experience, death brings out the worst in people. Heirs become a nightmare. It tears apart families. It's really horrible, okay? So you can look at this house as a burden, but no, treat it as a blessing. All right, and you can do very, very well. All right, if you can keep a house, keeping a house in your family is almost always the best choice. If there's some way you can keep this house in your family, it's the best choice. That's kind of weird coming from a guy that buys houses, okay? But I'm telling you the truth. If you can keep a house in your family, it's almost always the best choice. All right, so your choice. When you get a property, when this happens to you, when you are the recipient of this property, okay, you can do two things, right? You can liquidate it, or sell the property, or you can keep it. All right. So getting rid of the property is the most common way that inherited property is handled. All right. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you are not the person that's ready to be a landlord, if you don't have anything else to do with the property, if you can't maintain it, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with selling it. Okay. If you have problems with families and heirs, there's nothing wrong with selling it and getting rid of it. It is the most popular thing to do with inherited property. Most people get property and now oh, now what? What do I do with it? It all sounds good, but now, and they sell it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to persuade you not. But if you've got something in your head telling you that maybe you want to keep it, well, maybe you should. All right, making the right decision. If you follow any of my videos, if you follow me at all, I'm all about making the right decision for you. Right? Is it the right time for you to buy a house? Is it the right time for you to sell a house? Is it the right thing for you to keep this inherited house? Right? Make the decision for you. First of all, are all of the heirs okay with keeping the home? This is a big thing. Let's say you have a big family and the house was left to the estate and not to you personally, and there's 3 or 4 heirs. Let me tell you, every family has that person that just needs money now. I just want my money. I want my money, right? And they're going to want to sell the house. Now you got to determine, can we buy them out or whatever? Or let me tell you, if you've got people like that, just sell the house. Take the money that you're going to make and buy your own rental property, okay? Don't force the issue. That you don't want bad blood if you can avoid it. All right, so that's the first thing. Are all the heirs okay with keeping the home? If they are, then you can work on keeping it within the family, selling it to someone in the family, or whatever the case may be. But point being, don't create bad blood, because now you have this idea that you want to keep it. Nothing is worth the bad blood in the family. Okay. If you want to keep the property, now we have to evaluate its current condition. Number one, is it readily livable? I'm going to show you some pictures in a minute of a house that was lived in until a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to buy it. If all goes well, I'm going to buy it today, maybe tomorrow. The person's calling me back and forth. If I buy it, I'll obviously make a video about it and talk about it more, but I'm going to show you some pictures now. This house was lived in its current condition like a couple of weeks ago. It's not readily livable. I don't know how anybody would live in there, okay? So you have to look, is this home readily livable? People that live in conditions that are not good. And you just inherited a house, and it's a hoarder house from the A&E network, and it's a complete and total mess. It's not readily livable, okay? So you have to decide, is this place readily livable? Can you rent it out? Would someone be able to comfortably live in the house? I don't mean, is it updated? Does it have granite and stainless steel? But does it have a kitchen that works? Does it have a bathroom that works? Does the roof not leak? Do the doors lock? Is it a house that someone could rent? If not, then we got to look, is it a total mess? All right. Is this like a gut job, or is it just, there's a bunch of things broken and we can fix them? Does the house need work in order for it to be readily rentable? Okay. And are you able to get the work done? These are things you have to think about. Maybe you've inherited the house and you're a contractor and the house is a couple of blocks away and you can figure out ways to get it done. Maybe you're not a contractor and the house is 1,000 miles away and it's a mess and you don't know how to get it done. Okay, these are the factors. These are the things you have to think about. But if you can, try to keep that property. All right, we're going to assume that the house is livable, right? This is what I'm telling you about keeping it. This is why I want you to keep the house if you can. I'm not going to go into the specifics of renting, right? Where you put money aside for capital expenditures, for maintenance, for vacancy. Okay, I can do that in another video, but we're going to say, let's just assume the house is worth in its current condition $150,000, right? In most markets, a house at about $150,000 will rent for about $1,500 a month. That's where I'm coming up with these numbers. Some more, some less. Okay, let's say the house is worth $150,000 and it can rent for $1,500 a month. The rule of thumb for renting is your expenses, no matter what the house, will be about 50% of the rent. Okay, and that's covering your taxes, your insurance, expecting vacancy, putting money aside for repairs and big things that need to be replaced, boilers, hot water heaters, stoves, fridges, these kinds of things, okay? And then if you had a mortgage, you would pay the mortgage out of the remaining 50%. But in this case, you probably don't have a mortgage because it's an inherited home. So in this scenario, you will net about $750 a month in positive income. Okay, and that, remind you, as I'm telling you, is taking into account that you're going to have some vacancy. That's taking into account money that you're putting aside for all the repairs. This is $750 a month. Now, let's just go 10 years. We're going to fast forward 10 years because 10 years happens in the blink of an eye. If we assume normal home values, okay, they increase, going back the last 35 or 40 years, annually, they've increased about 3 to 3.5% per year. I know we've had some spikes and some negatives. If on a linear line, it's about 3.5% a year. So in 10 years, this $150,000 house should be worth about $214,000. Okay. You also have received $90,000 in rental income, in the actual income, $180,000 in cash coming in. And that's assuming that you didn't raise the rent over those 10 years. So now it's 10 years down the line, you have a house that's worth $214,000 and you've already taken in $90,000. See what I'm saying? And it's just going to continue and continue and continue until you die and now give this house to your children or grandchildren. You've started to create generational wealth, and generational wealth is what supports communities and provides economic stability to large groups of people. Okay? You can do this with your family. That's why I'm a proponent of you keeping your home. But I can also tell you that owning rental properties is not as passive as people think. And there are issues. There are bad tenants. There are problems that come along with owning rental properties. And if the thought of owning a rental property just gives you agita right at the bat, maybe it's not for you, okay? Maybe renting is not for you. What are your other options? You can rent to family. Every family has somebody that needs a place to live, right? Maybe you can rent the family. That can be good or that can be bad. Every family has the person that never pays anything and the family that, the member that pays for everything. But maybe you can rent the family. Is the house in a nice place and you can Airbnb it? Like down here in Virginia Beach. Oh, now they just changed the law that you can't Airbnb except for a little part of Sandbridge. But if you're in a nice place, can you Airbnb it? Do you now have a vacation home? Like, wow, you know what? This house is near the lake that we like to go. Maybe you keep it as a vacation home, and all you got to do is pay the taxes and insurance. A student rental. Do you have somebody getting ready to go to college, and the house is maybe near the college? Hey, bud, you can stay in this house, and we're going to rent it out to your 4 roommates. And now we've got a cash flowing rental, and you're going to live at college for free. These are real options, right? These are real options. Think outside the box. All right, let's say none of this works for you and you want to sell. All right, if you're going to sell the home, you have 2 decisions. You have one choice, but you have to make a decision of 2 options, right? Basically, can I wait 3 to 6 months, because that's how long it's going to take to sell with a real estate agent. It just is what it is. You have to list it, you have to bring buyers in, then you have to close title, your buyers have to get a mortgage. It takes 3 to 6 months. Sometimes a little faster, sometimes a little slower, but you got to be able to wait 3 to 6 months. And in that 3 to 6 months, you're paying insurance and you're paying taxes. You have to have insurance. You have to have insurance on the house, right? Tree falls and lands on the house. You got a big problem, because if you don't have insurance, who's paying for it? It's going to come out of you, or you've just lost all the equity in your home, right? So you've got to pay insurance and taxes and probably some utilities, although the utilities shouldn't be expensive. Can you wait? Are the heirs chasing you for money? Is there enough money to cover these things? If you can wait, that's what you should do. Or 2, time's of the essence. The house is getting summonses. I'm going to show you pictures of another house in a minute. That the house was getting summonses. That's one that I just bought. The house was getting summonses. The heirs lived 8 hours away, 9 hours away, and they didn't know what to do with it. They had no way to control it. And before the squatters came in, they had to get rid of it. And the town was coming in, and now they're starting hitting them for the grass and hitting them for the dirt. It didn't work. Okay, so those are your 2 choices that you have to decide. Can I wait, or is time of the essence? If you can wait, call a realtor. Calling a licensed professional to sell your home is 99.999% of the time the best option. Why is that? Because a licensed realtor is a marketer of real estate, and we will get the most visibility for your home. More eyes equals more offers equals the highest offer. It is what it is. Even the worst home will do a little bit better selling it on the open market to a real estate agent. But you have to wait 3 to 6 months. You might have to make some repairs at the behest of a bank. You might have, a buyer fall through 2 months in and start all over again. You have to be prepared to go a little bit long, 3 to 6 months. If you can do it, best option. And in Virginia, give me a call. I can do this for you, right? Again, I'm a licensed agent in Virginia Beach. I work in Hampton Roads and all the surrounding up through Williamsburg. I can help you, not a question. And it's usually the best option. You don't have time to wait. Okay? What should you do? Call me. All right? We will evaluate your home and give you a cash offer to purchase. All right? And I have done videos. I can link one up here about how we come up with our cash offer. It's not about, taking you for, a ride. We're giving you a fair offer as to what the house is worth today. All right? We take care of everything and close in about 30 days. The only thing that kind of holds us up sometimes is just the fact of getting title and the procedures in the town or in the government that hold us up, right? That's it. We have cash, we're ready to buy. So it's just a matter of getting all the ducks in a row and all the administrative stuff. It takes about 30 days, sometimes less. You don't have to worry about anything. The house is full of grandma and grandpa's stuff, and it's from 1965 and no one wants it. Just leave it. We'll take care of it. We get rid of it. That's what we do. Right? We have economies of scale. You're going to be sitting there on the Yellow Pages or on the Yellow Pages. No one uses Yellow Pages, right? You're going to be on Google and trying to find people. I just go on my Rolodex. I already have people. This is what we do. We'll get rid of it. All right. Our goal is to make the home selling process as easy and stress-free as possible for you. So when you're in the situation, you don't have time to wait, we take care of it. The house is 1,000 miles away, we take care of it. The house is in total disrepair, we take care of it. That's what it is. So here's your choices. Call me and I'll sell it on the open market, or call me and we'll take care of it and we'll take it off your hands from the day that you call us. until the day you cash your check. You don't even have to look at the house ever again. We got it. All right. I hope this provides some help. If you have any questions at all, you give me a call, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, and I will point you in the right direction. All right. Have a great day.